Yo, what is up guys? Steel Vico here, and welcome back to another Spirit Halloween sneak peek. And in this one, we're going to be talking about Mr. Howle. And this is Mr. Howle with an E at the end. I messed it up in one of my other videos, and I spelt it wrong. Just going to correct that now. It's Mr. Howle, H-O-W-L-E, with an E at the end. So yeah, the 7-foot Mr. Howle animatronic from Spirit Halloween that's selling for $299.99, $300. And let me just get out of the way. The first thing that I wanted to say is he kind of disappointed me. I was, somewhat excited for him when when people kind of first heard about him coming from the blueprints. He was one of the first animatronic we saw. It was Mr. Howle and Henry Hustle. That's kind of like the duo, and he just wasn't quite what I wanted him to be. He turned out to be a giant werewolf, which is really cool. He's like about Crouchy's height, I believe. And I think his big selling point is the fact that he's just this giant werewolf. Werewolf props are cool and all, but they aren't really my favorite thing ever. I don't know why, I just never have been a huge fan of werewolves. But this one is definitely pretty cool, and I love the detail on the face and the hands, and I love how large everything is. He's got a huge face, which, they can put a lot of detail into that, which they did with real hair. And, well, not real hair, but you know what I mean. Huge hands and feet. The one thing that I wish they would have done, just kind of his name, and for some reason I thought he was going to have like a suit. I thought that would have been kind of cool to have like a ripped suit style of the thing, and also it would have been kind of funny to fit his name sort of more. But no, it's just kind of a classic, almost lumberjack style clothes for him, which is, that's cool and all. But, he was kind of a disappointment to me. I expected him to be a little more in that in-between stage of something, maybe like closer to being part human, part werewolf, but no, he's just a giant werewolf. That's kind of his selling point, and kind of why I'm not at all interested in him at all, as well as his price, which, is kind of justified. I think that's about the same price that they'd sell anything that's 7 feet tall, but it's just not something I would particularly want to buy. And he's got that his head moves up and down, which is kind of cool, and his mouth moves when he lunges, or he doesn't really lunge, but he kind of moves forward a little bit, and I think that's pretty cool. But overall, there's nothing too amazing about his animation. It's just kind of, classic werewolf style animation with moving mouth and stuff. But I'm going to read his description now, and of course he doesn't have any phrases, he's just got growling and howling. But yeah. Bert Howle never thought his love of hunting would become his curse. An experienced marksman, Bert spent weeks camping and trekking through the Northwest Territories hunting wild game until nature decided it had enough of his trophy hunting ways. Late one night under the full moon, the Wolf King descended from its mountain den and left Bert with a single bite. He considered himself lucky only until the next full moon, when the change began. Now every month, Bert transforms into a ravenous werewolf and is hunted like an animal as he tries to survive until morning. Mr. Howle will terrify your guests this Halloween with his ferocious head movement and rising arms. Once he tilts his head back to show off his light-up LED eyes, gnarly teeth, and huge jaw, you better hope you're not in biting range. So that is actually a pretty cool story. I do kind of like that. I'm not 100% sure about the Wolf King thing. I mean, that's kind of funny in my opinion. But, it is what it is. Kind of a decent story in my opinion. But anyway, guys, that is about all I have to say for Mr. Howle. Just overall kind of disappointing to me. Not that there's really anything wrong with him. I think he is definitely a very solid werewolf prop. I just am not super into the werewolf props myself. I don't know why. It just never really interested me that much. He's a giant werewolf, and certainly one of the better ones you've seen out there. Some of the Home Depot ones have been pretty bad, in my opinion, and the Menards one isn't great either. So this is certainly a good werewolf option if you want a giant werewolf to really have a presence in your haunt. Definitely one to consider. But yeah, anyway guys, that's about it for this. Let me know your thoughts on Mr. Howle in the comments below. Were you disappointed? Were you impressed? Were you kind of like meh? Kind of like me. I'm in between disappointed and meh. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.